Welcome to Let Black Women Speak on It podcast. I'm Whitney.
And I'm Ta'Cha.
And we're going to be discussing the topic of picking up where ancestors left off, starting with episode 3. Should we vote as people of color with history's results from voting? And I would say yes, especially for our city council people, our school districts, things like that. But when it comes to presidential, they pick who they want, basically. So that's just how I feel about that one.
Same. I would say same. I guess for residential. I mean, me personally, you know me, I don't trust politics. I think it's a dirty game. I don't participate in voting. I used to fresh out of high school. I used to vote about 6-7 years ago, but after that Hillary situation, I was just like, it doesn't make sense, like how do just make it make sense? It just didn't make sense. And then even with the new election, with this one, it was some funny business, and it's just like
it always is with the presidential elections to me. Always is.
With politics, it's all about whoever got the most bread. If you got a lot of money, then yeah, you gonna be in politics. So I just feel like, me personally, I say to each his own, but for me personally, I don't give my energy to what I feel is a dead situation. Right. I feel like whoever got the most money at the end, whoever, can pay for as much, because I mean, that's politics. If you can pay to tour all over the world, if you can pay to, get to influence other people. So it's really, it's a money to me. I think it's like a money game, and it's just, I don't know. I guess
it's definitely a money game.
Yeah.
And honestly, with Obama, like, I really feel that he was just set up to be president because he was planning to do so much good stuff for Chicago, changing it. So I feel that Obama was set up to do a lot of good for Chicago and change it. So many killings and stuff there, so much bad going on there. He had a whole agenda.
Why did nothing change? That is a big question for me.
And I feel that they picked him to be president to get him away from Chicago. That's what I'm saying. I feel, because he had like this whole like lecture that he did. It was years ago. I've seen it posted on the internet about what he was going to do to make Chicago better. And then years later, they had him set up to be president.
Exactly. I think is, how can we have a man of color as our president and we didn't see nothing for the Black community change? There was no reparations. Yeah. There was nothing done for real. Like, there was no law. There was nothing that could have been, because I know Lincoln died, and I think another one that got killed for trying to do something for the slaves and the minorities. So,
but was Lincoln really for us?
I don't think so. I think
I don't think so either.
Yeah, no, I think he just watered it down and gave it another definition. But still, at the same time, he made other people mad by making our situation less obvious, I guess. Because I mean, it was, if you're not paying fair wages, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, I guess someone said that, like, it was more of turned slavery into like paid wages, but then they wasn't even paying them enough.
So who signed the Emancipation Proclamation? Was that Lincoln?
I believe it was Lincoln.
It was him. He only signed that so Black people can go to war.
See, I knew it was a motive. I couldn't put my finger on what it
Yeah,
was.
that's what it
Yeah,
was.
it had to be a motive. And I think that a lot of reasons, only reason why they got our ancestors involved, it was for wars and political agendas. I don't
Right.
think it was never intended for us to
Right.
be getting treated equal, because they didn't feel that we were equal.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, I think, political moves. It was chess.
Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
When it
And that's
comes
why they
to,
still have all those laws, to keep Black people from doing certain things. They have those laws in place. They're not going to say directly African Americans can't do this and can't do that, but still you placing these laws to hinder us from doing better.
absolutely, I think that the whole system, the judicial system, the political system, every system needs a whole new makeover. Like,
Yeah.
basically, all the laws and stuff, and all the, just everything that was written back in the times where we were labeled as animals, non-human. I feel like that should be, all of that stuff should be done over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of those laws should be done over, for the simple fact, um, there's no, like, it didn't include us. So, and it was done for the favor of different people that didn't have anything to do with us. So I don't know. It just don't make sense, girl. It don't. So
Right.
I just feel like I think we need to do a lot of
Right. Yeah. For sure.
rewriting, re-signing, things of that nature. Say that the country is for all, then the laws and the things that's set up in place should be for all. So yeah, I'm sorry to say, but our political system is too white. Too many white people in Congress, too many white people
Mm-hmm.
in Senate. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
should be evened out. They should have, like, a restriction. Like, it can only be this amount of number of this race, this amount of number of this race. If this is a country that's built on we the people, why the majority is of European descent?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just a lot of readjusting that we need to do as American people to
Right.
make it even, because it's not even. It's not fair. If this country is full of immigrants, it was built by the immigrants, like John F. Kennedy said, and he has
Mm-hmm.
a book called JFK. He said that he realized that America were the immigrants. So if America is built off of immigrants, why do we have a European rule? You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So it just doesn't make sense.
Right. It doesn't. And what doesn't make sense to me is what don't make sense to me though is 18-year-olds being able to vote. I feel that they too young. You still in high school, just getting out of high school. You don't know much about the world, but they're giving you the chance to make decisions about the world. That's crazy. When these are the same 18-year-olds that are in college partying all the time, don't know what they're gonna do with their life or nothing like that. Yeah. So it just don't make sense. And Congress passed the law back in 1971 for 18-year-olds to be able to vote. So it's been a long time, but I think they need to change that up to at least over 21. Just like they do making the decision to be able to buy liquor and stuff like that. You got to be 18, right? I mean 21, right?
Yeah, because I mean, even when I was 18, I just voted all Democrat. I just
Exactly.
was
We all
doing
did.
whatever. Yeah, I was just doing whatever. I asked my mama, asked my daddy, what y'all doing? We voting Democratic. Why? Oh, we don't know. That's just what we always did.
Yeah.
So we just followed that status quo. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, nothing changed. What
Exactly.
changed? Ever
Nothing at
since I was
all.
18 years old and voted Democratic, nothing has changed. It has been the same jumbo gumbo.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't know, girl. I think that, you know, we need girl, we need a whole system reboot. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
We really do.
we need something totally new because it doesn't make sense. It
It
does not
really
make
doesn't.
it
Right.
doesn't make sense. And no matter how much we get out and vote, nothing changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're saying, oh, you gotta wait for the progress. We've been waiting for the progress for 100 years.
Girl.
It shouldn't take that long to change a
Mm-mm-mm.
law and put it in effect.
Right.
It doesn't make sense, boo. But I would say the first thing first would be cleaning out having European being 80% of politics. That has to change. Every culture should, if this is a state of immigrants, if this is a country of immigrants, every culture should be at least should be like 20% of this, 20% of that, or 10% this, 10% that. It should not be 80 and then the 20 minorities or 70 and 30 minorities. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
not at all.
Right.
Because the majority always rule, right?
Mm-hmm. And they're gonna rule for what they want and for their people. Exactly.
Period. And that's why you have in every country, in every school, the high percentage of that culture. And it's just like, it's not fair. It's not
Mm-hmm.
fair. You know, I was always taught if you don't play fair, don't play at all. So I don't play at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not telling nobody else not to vote. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, if that's what you want to do, you do what you feel that's good for you. But for me personally, if I see that you guys can rig ballots, tamper with mail-in ballots, it's a rigged system. I'm not gonna play with you. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
sit at home. I'm gonna drink my tea. I'm gonna grease my scalp, and I'm gonna mind my business.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do. And I'm
Right.
sorry, I feel that's on every level. Because if you pay attention when it comes to these businesses buying things, and even in little cities, prime example, look at Kansas City. You know, we got a new governor, and then all of a sudden, all these new people came and started building up real fast.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a governor or a mayor in your pocket to get all those permits cleared and the agenda pushed. So, I mean, I seen the change,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's just obvious, like the system that you guys have going on right now, that's more of a money system. That's not a community system. A community system, they're very cautious about what they approve. They're very cautious about the taxes and keeping the land and the landowners of the families that's been there. Like right now, man, people getting their houses stolen from them. Like it's just like some hijacking. It's
Mm-hmm.
like taxes just shooting up. Like it's. I talked to my family back there that own land down there, and it's just a lot of fraudulent stuff with the dollar
Yeah.
houses and all that stuff. It's just some greed stuff going on, girl.
It really is.
It
Cause
was just
I got pre-approved for a house and I've been looking at these houses prices and stuff. I'm like, I don't even want a house right now. I mean, my rent is high. Getting a house is ridiculous right now, the interest rates and all, and the pricing of the house. It's like it's not even cheaper to get a house right now because your mortgage
no,
payment is going to be more than your rent is.
yeah,
So
no.
it
And
doesn't
I
make
just seen that.
sense.
I just seen that. I was like, my mortgage would be 2,000. I might as well
Yeah,
stay right now for 1,000 or something. Like it doesn't make sense.
it doesn't.
Basically, it would be wise to wait for another. I don't know if you ever paid attention. Like if you look in the history of like the trends of real estate, when
Okay.
it goes up like this, it always has a big boom and shock where everything drops.
Yeah,
Like
and
it
I'm
happened
definitely
in
gonna wait for
08.
that.
Yes, I'm definitely waiting for
Yeah.
that. It happened in 08, 07, 06, sometime around that time. It happens, I think it was in the 90s. It's like it always fluctuates. So my thing is I'm gonna just get myself ready for that. And then I'm gonna just buy up multiples because the greedy's getting grittier.
Most definitely. Most definitely. It's crazy. But yeah, so yeah, with the whole voting thing, I think it's all a gimmick for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally have to say that we wasn't included when it was when it was created. So I can't really say that we were it was set up for us. I mean, which it has proven itself not to be, because even with a Black president, we still didn't get what we want. And what we want is, what I want is 40 acres and a mule. But I mean, other Black people are saying reparations. But okay, I want 40 acres and a mule for my descendants, my ancestors being enslaved. But you know, the majority rules. So whatever all the Black people want, we'll have to say as a whole. But for me, I just want them to honor what they said they was gonna do. 40 acres and a mule.
Girl, right. But you know, they're not gonna give us no reparations because they don't want us to rise to power. But then again, how can we rise to power when nobody is coming together on nothing? We're still gonna be separated with money. People buying this and buying that they don't need, you know, trying to flaunt on the next person. Like that's we ain't gonna get nowhere even doing that.
And I'm gonna let you tell it, girl. You let an ignorant racist speak. They're saying, "Oh, ain't you just playing the victim? You're playing the victim, wanting reparations. You're playing the victim for wanting justice for your ancestors getting fed to alligators, raped, beat. That's playing the victim. When this woman of Caucasian race said that to me, I was just like, you're disgusted. In my mind, I'm just like, you're the most disgusting being I've ever communicated with. For you to say that's playing a victim, I mean, Caucasian folks want justice for the littlest thing.
Right. If they dog get hit, police do something to their dog. Somebody do something to their dog. They done lost their damn mind, right?
But that's not playing the victim. If something happens to your, like, a whole generation of torment and systematic injustices is less important than you getting justice for your dog. They will go to court and sue somebody from hitting a dog.
But you know, another thing, talking about dogs, in Kansas City, they built, I think it was a multi-million-dollar adopt a pet place, whatever you call them, a pet shelter over in the Swole Park. Multi-million-dollar pet shelter. And there's homeless people out here. I mean, they invested so much money in this pet shelter. And what about the kids, the schools, like the community? Like, I'm lost on that one.
Super lost. How do you have schools with no accreditation? You have a crime rate the size of Afghanistan, but you built Adopt a Pet. So basically, you have the money.
But you wanted to use it for what you wanted to use it for.
Period. And you not, like I said to you, when I came home and buried my husband, I noticed that whoever's in charge in Kansas City right now, that's why I ain't coming back till y'all get new political people in charge. Because whoever's in charge, like Sly James, he was for the people. Yeah, he was for money too, but he was for his people. Whoever these new people are, no. And they'll let anybody grease they spot, they palm. Because we got all kind of folk all in there. Asian folks, taking land from people that's been there for centuries, decades. You just got any and everybody coming, taking land, rigging up these fake programs, buying up all the land. It's just crime. Ain't even thought about the crime. Girl, ain't nothing changed. Ain't no decline and no murders. It's like, I mean, at least they was
Crazy.
It was a little progress. Now it just went to sub-zero. But personally, I don't think it's wise to, like, if it's not somebody who's truly from the community, who has been through what the people in the community have been through, not, oh, you grew up there for a little bit, then went off to college. No, you have to be somebody that's been there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who got a cousin Pookie, who got a grandma whose taxes is like, you have to really, you can't be no kid that's been off at Harvard or some little law school. You know what I'm saying? And then try to come back in the city. No, you have to be somebody that's really been in that city. You get what I'm saying? Felt the effects of what's going on in that community, had one of your family members murdered. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You, like, I don't know. I just feel like, girl, but it's every city though, because St. Louis going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not real familiar on who's the governor or mayor. I think it's a young lady or something. But it's, all I would say is it's a lot. It's a lot, girl. But I think that first thing first is getting proper people in places that can handle the environment. Like, if you a suburban person, if you a nerd, you need to be in a suburban area. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm just gonna give it raw. Kansas City need more of somebody that's tough. You know, maybe somebody that was in law enforcement or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it needs somebody that knows. Like, we would probably need an old officer or a detective or somebody like that over our town, because we need a lot of criminal reform.
Yeah.
You know, like, but it's a lot of cities. Chicago too. They need somebody that can get in there.
Chicago need everything.
Girl, Chicago need Jesus.
Ooh. Yes,
Jesus,
honey.
Jesus and John and Peter. But but I'm just saying, like, I think like our city, it can be cleaned up if we just get the right chess pieces in place, like the right people in place. Like, you can't come in there just rebuilding. We don't need fancy roads and stadiums. We need crime cleaned up. We need families and generations that's been there for years. We need their tax dollars and their land protected. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we need our school, like the three major things that should be touched on in Kansas City. Accreditation in the city schools. That needs to get fixed ASAP. That should have got fixed like 8 years ago.
Right.
And there's no way that white suburban women or suburban people should be able to come into the city schools and get their college loans paid for when the Black teachers are struggling in debt. They deal with the worst behaviors, kids with undiagnosed
yes, ma'am.
disabilities. Like, they dealing with violence, they dealing with all kinds of stuff. But you're telling me that Susan can come out of Springfield, and if she work in the schools for a couple years, she could get all her
loans paid off.
I'm like, make it make sense.
And those be the teachers that's there that don't care. That do not care.
Watch out now. Because they like, I'm just gonna do my time, get my loans paid off, and I'm going back to Springfield.
Exactly.
But you got Miss Jones, or you got Miss London, or you got Miss Logan that's been there for 50 years, girl. And she's still in debt. And she treat them kids like her grandkids. Yeah. But can't even get a raise.
Right.
Girl, let me tell you. First thing first, we need to fix our school system. First thing first, we need to fix our crime. We need to get like some type of police officer, somebody with a lot of, even if we have to fly in somebody from another state that's real good on crime or something to be our governor. I mean, our mayor, governor. What is that main person? Like the mayor over your city? Yeah, a mayor over our city. Yeah, we need to get somebody that don't play when it comes to our chiefs of police, because that crime, that got to stop.
For real.
They got to stop. They need to get the equipment, whatever they need, but the senseless murders got to stop. Like, they need to have something set up. If you know it's going to be an event, you should already have undercover police. Like, every event should have police officers set up right there. Like, if you know, I don't know. Like, we have to, as a city, because our city's more of a community. It's not like these big states that I'm in. It's more of a community. It just really takes somebody that really got a passion and love for their city.
Right.
And the thing is, I guess that's where voting comes in at. Now, if we get somebody that's really for the city, absolutely, I'm voting.
Right.
If you know that person's really gonna fight for the city, absolutely, I'm voting. But other than that, no. I spoke to a lady, and she was basically like, they put people in positions that have the same ideas and motives as them. So it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if people with money are putting people in positions that can push their permits, push their stuff, that's not for the people.
Right.
So it's just, that's the issue. And that's what I think the issue with voting is. Like, it's paid off now. It's paid off. It's basically people paying people to, they putting people in office to push their agendas.
Right.
That's what I think politics have become. And that's, I think, on every level. When it comes to Senate, council, all that, like presidential, like they're putting people in positions to push what they want.
Right.
How do we win in that situation?
Right.
So, yeah, girl. So, I mean, my thing is, we just get some people running that's really for the people, that's going to fight for the people, that's not going to take a check, that's just really want to see change. But at the same time, I think that it's too corrupt. I think because even me, it's just like people who got the fight, who got the fire, it's just like, it's a dirty game. Nobody want to hop in it. When I
It
talk
really
to like
is.
college kids, when I talk to college kids, and people be asking me like, okay, why won't you run for Senate? You're almost old enough. I'm like, no, don't nobody want to deal with that. Because it's just
true.
like,
It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of stuff going on.
It's a lot of dirt. It's like going and join a job and everybody just greasy. Like, you just don't want to join in. You like, this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's got to change, because if it don't, it's just gonna get worse. So, yeah. But is there anything else you want to speak on it about?
No, that's about it for real. I just feel like we really do need somebody, like you said, to push the agenda, to help the community, somebody that's for the community, and not somebody that's just, looking to bring in other businesses, to make money off of those businesses in the community.
Yeah, it's not always about bringing money to the community. It's about bringing change to the community. And that's what and it's all communities. I speak on Kansas City because that's just where I'm from, and I know those streets and I know what's going on. But I'm pretty sure it's in every city near you, from Detroit to Chicago to uh St. Louis to Atlanta. Like, we really need people that's not gonna be about money and um be about the community.
Right.
So
For sure, for sure.
yeah, it's a process, but hopefully, change gonna come, girl. Thank you guys for tuning in to Let a Black Woman Speak on It. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram at Let a Black Woman Speak on It. Thank you guys.